reliability of nuclear-powered and ion-powered engines for interplanetary and interstellar travel. These engines would have to contain at least as much material on board which could conceivably cause a similar-sized detonation as that observed over Tungusca.
Well, NASA's been involved in the development of ion propulsion for over 30 years now, and very early they were able to demonstrate good engine performance. But because these engines have such low thrust levels compared to chemical rockets, very, very long burn times are required for typical planetary missions, on the order of 8,000 to 12,000 hours. So the hardest part of working with ion propulsion is demonstrating that the engine has enough lifetime for those kinds of missions.
The design and concept for such a spacecraft is not at all science fiction. In fact, it will be the design of our own human expedition spaceships in the next 100 years or so. Small-scale early versions are already being built for unmanned probes that will reach the outer limits of our solar system and beyond.
The N-Star thruster will be used first on the first New Millennium mission, which is a comet and asteroid flyby. Subsequent missions in which it might be used would be small body rendezvous missions or perhaps outer planet missions.
In 1947, the United States government began a massive cover-up of an alien crash site at Roswell, New Mexico, and has for over 50 years continued its conspiracy to hide the truth from the American people. The reports of the U.S. military concealing both a recovered interplanetary spacecraft and alien occupants have made the Roswell crash site by far the most famous example of humanity's contact with extraterrestrial life and government cover-up. The Tungusca crash predates Roswell by nearly 4 decades. And even though no spacecraft or alien occupants were recovered, the suppression of facts and confiscation of materials collected from the site by the KGB, in addition to the discrediting of eyewitness accounts, bear striking similarities to the U.S. cover-up of the crash site at Roswell. It is only now, after the collapse of communism and breakup of the Soviet Union, as well as the warming relationship between the former Eastern and Western Bloc countries, that the true eyewitness accounts of the Tungusca explosion and subsequent cover-up are beginning to surface. It is hoped that the further warming of relationships between Russian and American politicians and scientists may ultimately allow for a release and an analysis of the confiscated metallic materials still hidden at the Siberian military base.
I've been invited to talk on such an important...
In light of this newly revealed evidence and the rejection of all natural explanations for this phenomenon, the crash site at Tungusca could very well represent the most significant and historic, yet the most overlooked and almost forgotten discovery in the history of humanity.